Coronation Street, Gary Windass attacker finally revealed after shocking resident blunder. Coronation Street fans are convinced they have uncovered the truth about who put Gary Windass in hospital after a vicious assault, with eagle-eyed viewers picking up on a subtle clue that might expose the culprit. Friday night's dramatic episode ended with a bombshell twist as Gary was shown lying unconscious in a hospital bed. Loyal soap fans will recall Gary had recently left Weatherfield to visit his mother, attempting to escape the blackmail threats from Lou Michaelis. During Gary's unexplained absence, his wife Maria Connor and stepson Liam grew increasingly anxious. That tension hit boiling point on Friday when Maria received a text message from Gary saying he was staying with a friend and would return soon. But the episode's final moments suggested he might never have sent that message himself, with a harrowing scene revealing Gary lying unresponsive in hospital. Meanwhile, Nina Lucas was shown in a state of panic, breaking down in front of Roy Cropper as she admitted her terrifying fear that she might have harmed someone during a summer party after taking LSD. Through tears, she confessed, "I hurt someone. I'm sure of it, and I need to find out who." Although suspicions momentarily pointed at Nina, most fans believe she has no connection to Gary's attack. Viewers instead recalled how Lou Michaelis had previously managed to unlock Gary's phone to plant false evidence and even tried to seduce him for extortion. As the storyline progresses, Maria grows more desperate after Gary misses Liam's birthday, ultimately reporting him missing to PC Kit Green. It is then that she learns about an unidentified coma patient, raising fresh alarm bells, according to Belfast Live. Though Kit initially denies that Gary is involved, it soon becomes obvious that the attacker took great care to cover their tracks, going so far as to use a false identity and pretend to be Gary's next of kin to avoid detection. As Gary clings to life, the police investigation gathers pace. Future episodes promise to shed light on the chilling events that led to Gary's hospitalization, gradually revealing hidden motives and exposing the person responsible. Viewers suspect Lou Michaelis and her husband Mick are behind the plot, especially since Lou knows Gary's phone passcode, which could explain how Maria received messages from Gary while he was incapacitated in hospital. Mick, a violent and deeply jealous man, is currently behind bars for the murder of young police officer Craig Tinker. On social media, one fan wrote, "There's no way Nina or Summer could have left Gary with those kinds of injuries. It has to be Lou. She knows his phone code, and she must be the one sending texts to Maria." Another viewer offered their own theory. "I think Lou visited Mick in prison, lied about Gary, and Mick arranged for his thugs to attack Gary. Lou is definitely sending those texts because she knows what really happened. I'd bet money she'll start demanding cash next, because once Gary wakes up and exposes the truth, she'll be finished. Hopefully she ends up behind bars, and maybe Tim and Sally could even foster her daughters in the aftermath." A third fan weighed in. "There are so many twists and turns in this story. Whoever got hold of Gary's phone must be behind it, and it's got to be Lou since she knows the PIN." Coronation Street turmoil as Dee Dee faces heartbreaking choice over baby Lila. A family rift threatens to explode. There's a storm brewing on Coronation Street as Dee Dee Bailey becomes locked in a deeply painful battle with her brother, James Bailey, over the future of baby Lila. What starts out as a seemingly simple disagreement about faith soon spirals into an emotional and moral showdown with profound consequences for the entire Bailey family. In dramatic scenes set to unfold, Dee Dee will open up about the overwhelming support she has found within her church community, reflecting on how her faith has carried her through some of the darkest times in her life. Her spiritual beliefs have been woven into her very identity, giving her strength, resilience, and hope. Now, Dee Dee dreams of sharing that same guiding light with her precious niece, believing it could help Lila grow into a kind, confident, and grounded young woman. However, her hopes are soon dashed when James makes it painfully clear that he wants Layla to be raised free of religious teachings, insisting that she should grow up able to make her own choices when she is older. James feels strongly that imposing religion on a child is unfair and wants to protect Layla from what he sees as restrictive traditions. Dee Dee is left completely blindsided, devastated by the thought of her niece growing up without the same moral foundation and spiritual guidance that she herself treasures so deeply. Her sense of betrayal is amplified by her conviction that James owes her some consideration, given the enormous sacrifice she made in allowing him and his partner to adopt Layla when she believed she could not raise a child herself. Determined not to abandon her beliefs, Dee Dee makes a controversial and risky decision. She secretly arranges to meet with Vicar Billy Mayhew to discuss baptizing Layla without James's knowledge or approval, convinced she is doing what is best for the little girl. But Billy stands firm and reminds Dee Dee that James, as Layla's legal father, must consent to the baptism before it can proceed. This painful setback leaves Dee Dee reeling, caught between her spiritual duty and her brother's parental authority. Fans of the soap will remember Dee Dee's heartbreaking journey, the emotional devastation she suffered after deciding to place Layla in her brother's care, believing it was the most loving and selfless choice. For Dee Dee, it was a sacrifice born of pure love, but shadowed by loss and regret. She had resigned herself to the idea that Layla would grow up in America, far from the familiar streets of Weatherfield, and that she would rarely, if ever, see her. So when James and Layla turned up unexpectedly on her doorstep not long ago, her entire world was turned upside down. Since then, Dee Dee has formed a powerful bond with her niece, acting as a doting aunt while also feeling the echo of her original role as Layla's mother. James has been a caring and loyal father, trying to do right by Layla while navigating the challenges of single parenthood. Yet Dee Dee has become a constant source of support for him, stepping into a protective and loving role that has blurred the lines between aunt and mother. This complicated dynamic has made the question of Layla's upbringing even more charged. Now, with Billy refusing to break church rules and James refusing to compromise on his position, Dee Dee faces an agonizing decision. Will she respect her brother's wishes and back down, or will she continue fighting to have Layla baptized, convinced it is in the child's best interest? As the family's tensions boil over, viewers will be left anxiously wondering whether this growing divide can ever be healed, or whether it marks the beginning of a deeper, long-lasting fracture that could tear the Baileys apart. With so many powerful emotions in play, guilt, regret, love, duty, faith, the stakes could not be higher. In true Coronation Street fashion, the storyline promises plenty of unexpected twists, raw confessions, and gut-wrenching moments as Dee Dee tries to reconcile her beliefs with her brother's authority and as both grapple with what it truly means to do the best for Layla. Coronation Street continues on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. on ITV and ITVX.